Steve, like many savvy investors, has a dilemma. He has hard-earned money to invest, but wants to earn high returns while minimizing his risk. Two phrases Steve read in the same investment book always resonate with him when he weighs the risk to reward of an investment: protect your money and the big gains are in startups. That contradictory advice left Steve considering three investment options, each with their own drawbacks. A 3-year high-interest savings account, which limited his growth to 4% a year and locked up his money. Secondly, the stock market offered big capital gains, but present the risk of enormous losses in a highly volatile environment. Lastly, the real estate market could provide Steve residual monthly income, but came with exorbitant deposits and the looming threat of another crash. Steve grew frustrated until his friend John introduced him to a new government tax incentive called the NSGR Enterprise Investment Scheme. Considered to be the UK's most generous tax scheme ever, SEIS allows Steve to pursue potentially high returns of investing in a startup with the protection of a 100.5% tax relief. With banks refusing to loan money to startups, the government created SEIS to boost economic growth by joining talented entrepreneurs with resourceful investors. Simply put, Steve considered the government's generous opportunity a no-brainer. Here's how it works. Presume Steve invests £10,000 in an SEIS-qualified startup. Steve gets 50% tax relief that year, immediately returning half of his investment. If Steve sold shares or property to make the £10,000 investment, he mitigates his capital gains liability of 28%. Steve is actually investing only £2,200, since the rest is offset through SEIS. If the startup was to fail, Steve can claim a loss of up to 100.5% in tax relief. If profitable, Steve pays absolutely zero capital gains. Lastly, he can sell his shares after 3 years. Steve still has one issue left before taking advantage of the world's most attractive tax relief: finding a worthy SEIS-qualified startup. Remember Steve's friend John? He then introduced Steve to NSGR Enterprise, a new generation publishing company. NSGR offers a minimum investment of £500, with an opportunity for financiers to devote a full £100,000. Further, NSGR